What's up, Geeksters? It's me, Omar from geeksterlabs.com, and today I have another video in my series of Canon XC15 videos. Just want to give a shout out to B&H Photo to thank them for lending me this camera to show to you guys. So guys, this is just basically a full body tour of the camera and the audio module that comes with it. This is not a full review. This is not any kind of... Basically what I'm going to do here, guys, is show you every single button, every single port, and explain to you what it's for. So this video is perfect for those of you that are considering buying this camera, but maybe you're not satisfied from the images that you've seen online, and you kind of want to get a better idea of the details of everything that's available on the camera. Or for those of you that already own this camera, but maybe you don't want to go through your manual to see what the different buttons and things do. So this video is going to give you a pretty good explanation as far as what every single thing, every port and button does on this camera. So enough talking, let's get to it. Alright guys, so let's start here on this side of the camera since we have a lot of different options to pick from. So the first switch you'll see right here is the focus. So M is manual, A is auto. So obviously in autofocus, it's going to automatically focus on your subject while you're recording. If you switch it to manual, you can use the dial, the focus dial right here in the front of the camera to do all the focus manually. So there are options in the menu settings to be able to do this, make the focus much faster, normal, or slow in case you want to be able to do really short turns, to be able to focus it really quickly, or if you want to be able to have to turn it really a lot to get into focus, that's what would be slow focus. So those are options that are available in the menu system. The option after that is the display button. So and also any button that you see that has numbered like this can be customized to be whatever you want. So this one right here is currently defaults to display. So basically what that does is that turns off the options off the screen, and that's basically all it does when you press that button right there. So that is the display button. After that we have push autofocus. So this is something cool. So where if you're in manual focus, let me see if I can get something. So right now if I want to if I'm switched into manual focus and I have my object here in front of me, and I can press on the button, if you just tap on it, it jumps to the focus on it really quickly. Basically is what it does, and then it lets you go back to filming. So this is kind of helpful if you're filming something like maybe if you're filming yourself and you want to make sure you're in focus really quickly, but you don't want it to be jumping in and out using autofocus, because that's what the camera's going to do. It's going to constantly be searching to focus on the subject. If you want to be able to push the autofocus to jump on and whatever it is you're locking onto, and then don't move after that, that's what you kind of a nice little button to use to do that right there. On the front here we have the dial for the zoom. So this is a 10 times optical zoom, and it goes from 24 to 240 millimeter on the camera. So that is the zoom right there. Like I already showed you, the focus dial in the front has a nice, pretty good grip. It's not as large as the zoom is, but it is there, and it has a pretty smooth feel to it when you're moving them back and forth. So no issues with that really. All right guys, so when it comes to the plugs we have over here, the first one is the mic input. So that will allow you to use a 1/8 inch mic input 3.5 millimeter jack. So if you have any kind of microphones that normally use that kind of port right there, that is available to you. Above that we have the audio terminal. So this is what you will use to connect the other the audio microphone inputs little module that you have over here. That actually plugs into this via this terminal right here. So that is what that is for. So when you're not using it, you keep it plugged up, no problem with that. Next plugs we have here, or next ports, is the HDMI out port. So that's basically you guys plug that into a TV, you'll be able to view any footage right out of there, HDMI. After below that we have the USB port. So this is what you would use to pull any footage off of here using the USB cable on and putting it to like a computer. So that's what the USB was for right there. After that we have the DC in, that's the power, and this is also the port you would need to use to charge up the battery, because you can only charge the battery while it's in the camera. But this will obviously give you continuous power as well. So if you're filming something, you have an area where you can plug in. You don't have to be swiping batteries and things like that. You can plug directly into the DC in. It'll give you continuous power the whole time, which is pretty nice. Let's go to the bottom of the camera. As you can see, not too much down here. We do have the battery door right there, and then we do have the tripod mount on the bottom as well. So this is a nice big platform, nice big foot for the bottom of the camera. So if you are going to use some of the big skid plates and some of the other adapters for different tripods, it has a nice big pad on the bottom, so that should be good for you guys that want to use like those larger cinema tripods. Alright, so now let's check out the top of the camera. So on the top of the camera we have the mount right here, and this is what you can use to put any kind of lights, any kind of adapters, including the little sound part right here. You can slide into there. There is also a hole there, or a mount for the tripod mount. So this is like a 1/4 inch tripod mount. So if there's any kind of other pieces, like maybe a handle or maybe a cage or something else you want to attach to this, it is off of that, which is kind of nice. So that's on the bottom right there. We have the stereo microphone right here. We have the speaker right here, so if you listen to any of your audio, it's going to be coming out of that little hole right there on the side. And as you can see, we have the part here where you can put the straps for the camera, so that's what hooks into here on the sides. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, it does have a vent here on the side. So if you did see that, that is an actual exhaust vent. When you're filming 4K footage, the camera does kind of heat up a little bit, so it needs that to kind of keep it cool. So let's get back over here to the handle. So on the handle, we have a bunch of different things. So first off, we have our shutter button. So no matter whether you're shooting videos or still images, you're going to press that shutter button to record. You can also tap it to do the focus when you're doing stills and also when you're doing video. After that, we have the dial right here. So this dial is used for multiple different things, especially when you're looking through the menu system. You can adjust different things on the fly using that dial. Below that, we have the on and off button. We have the playback button. Those are pretty self-explanatory. With a power and charge light, so this lets you know when it is turned on. And it also flashes and lets you know when it's fully charged up. So that's what that LED is for. After that, we have our mode dial. So we have all the different modes that you're probably used to seeing, like on different cameras, DSLRs and such. And then the thing about this is it's locked in, so you cannot move it unless you hold down the button and then turn it. So if you press down, then you can spin it around like that. But then after that, it's locked into place. So that's kind of nice to have right there. And I usually keep it in there into manual mode. On the back here, we have the magnification. Magnification button. It also has a number on it, so that means you can customize it. Magnification is what you would use if you want to try to dial in focus. You can zoom in really quickly, turn the focus knob to make sure that everything's in focus, and then go back to normal video. So that's what that little button right there is for. After that, we have our menu button right here. So you press obviously the menu button and you can get to the different menu and use a little toggle switcher here to pan between all of them. So this toggle switch goes up and down, left and right, and if you press down on it, it acts as a selection as well. But also the screen is also a touch screen as well. So like I just showed you right there, you can get to different options and settings all through the touch screen by touching it. It's pretty responsive, pretty quick, and it's pretty sharp as well. The other thing to keep in mind about the screen is it does tilt. So if you do want to hold the camera much lower to you, you can actually tilt it like that as well to get a better angle. You can angle it up, you can angle it down, you can point it downwards. The only thing this camera cannot do is swivel out, so there's no real way to angle this screen to where you can see yourself. If you're going to film yourself, if you're by yourself and need to be able to make sure you're staying in focus and such, you won't be able to do that because the display only goes up or down for different angles while filming. So just one thing to keep in mind. Let me turn off the camera, and as you can see on the bottom here, we have the door. This is where it keeps all the memory cards and such. So we have our CFast card. So any kind of 4K footage you want to film has to be filmed on the CFast card. Everything else, all the HD video, can be filmed using the SD. So we have 2 slots for both of those right there. Get to the side of the camera, we have the headphone jack. So this is what we'll use to monitor our audio while we're recording to make sure all our levels and everything are good. So it does have an input for the headphone jack right there. And that is pretty much it as far as all the buttons and ports go for the camera itself. So as you can see, pretty simple. There's actually more options on some other DSLR cameras I've used in the past. So everything is pretty simplistic. Most of the options that you're really going to want to have to get to are all going to be on the touch screen. So like ISO and aperture and things like that, you're going to have to touch the white balance. You'll have to get to it from the touch screen. So kind of a bummer. It would be nice to have a little bit easier access to some of those options, but that is the way it is. So that is the camera itself. So now let's check out the sound module. Alright, so here we have the microphone adapter. So this is pretty large. This is the MA400. So you may be seeing something similar to this on other cameras. Quite a big piece. And so as you can see here, we have 2 different mounting arrangements. The bottom one is probably the normal one that most people are probably going to use, and that allows you to mount it off the top of the camera like that. But if you want to mount it vertically so you could see all your dials and such facing you, you could also mount it using the bottom mount as well, and that will slide into place and it'll mount the camera to the camera like that. It does include an adapter that'll actually help guide the wire for the terminal, the audio terminal, because the wire comes out of here, and there's actually a little adapter that snaps onto this and allows you to guide the wire this way and plug into the camera, because the wire goes from this side over here to this side. So that is something that is available there. So if you want to switch it up, you want to mount it vertically, you can do that. Either way, it doesn't really matter. On the side here, we have the microphone holder. This will hold microphones from 20 millimeters or 3/4 of an inch. Basically your basic boom shotgun type of microphones. Hold it into there, nice cushioned. Shock absorption, has a little wire guide right here to guide the wire into the plugs. So that's what you can use here. If you don't want to use that, you can actually remove those. There's 2 screws right there, so that's not an issue if you want to take those off. Now we have our 2 inputs. These are our XLR inputs. So if you're using any kind of microphones, and this does include phantom power, which I'll show you in a second how you turn that on, but these are 2 powered inputs, input 1, input 2. And then we have our audio terminal right here. So this is where that wire will go. So it'll go out of here and it'll plug into the bottom of the left side of the camera, and that's what will port all the audio from this little module into the camera itself. So that's the little adapter right there. So let's close that back up. And that's pretty much all there is as far as that. We'll get to the buttons on top. There is also a tripod thread on the bottom, so if you wanted to mount this off of something else, that is available to you. That is on the bottom right there. So I'm not sure what you might use that for, but so let's open this up and let's get to this. So if you're familiar with any kind of audio equipment, these options are probably going to look very familiar to you. So here we have the different options. So this is channel 1, which is the one input over here, and then we have channel 2, which is the other input over here, the other XLR input. So I'm just going to show you one of these because they're both basically the same thing. So first off, A and M, so this is automatic and manual. So basically if you have an automatic mode, that means you don't need to mess with the little dial right here to adjust the audio. It's going to adjust the audio for you. If you want to be able to adjust it on the fly, you switch to M, and that's when you would want to mess with the the decibels here. So if you want to adjust it while you're recording, this is what you would do. So you would put it in manual. So then we have our 3 different inputs. So we have line, mic, mic plus 48V. So if you're recording using a microphone, you're going to want to have it on mic. If you're recording from some other device like a mixer or something else, then you would switch it into line mode. Okay. And mic 48V is if you have a microphone that has allows for phantom power. So basically like a boom mic or a shotgun mic. You don't want to put any batteries in it. You want your camera to power that microphone. You would switch it to 48V right there, and it would power the microphone. That way you could use the battery power off of the camera and not have to deal with like AA batteries or anything like that. So that's what that option would be for. Make sure you don't switch it to 48V if it's not a microphone that works with phantom power, because you will probably mess it up pretty badly. But that's it. So both of these options are both the same. Like I said, they're both equal for input 1, input 2. If you want to just use one input and make sure it's in stereo, you would use it to channel 1 or input 1 is what you would put it on, and you would adjust the settings on the camera to make sure that all the input going into there makes it stereo as opposed to left and right. So this has a cover right there, blocks it off, and so like I said, you can mount this horizontally like that or vertically on the back of the camera, and those are all the options for there. Well guys, that's it for me today. Hopefully this video was helpful to you. I just want to give another shout out to B&H Photo for sending me this camera to show you guys. If you have any questions about the things you've seen in this video, post them down below in the comment section. I read each and every comment in all of my videos, and I always answer back as quick as possible. If you guys are interested in purchasing this product, if you don't already own it, I'll put a link in the description to B&H Photo. And if you guys are interested in watching any of my other content for the XC15, click on any of these clips right here, and I'll have more of these showing up very soon. If you guys enjoyed this video, please click on the thumbs up button down below and share it with your friends. And if you want to stay up to date with all of my YouTube videos, make sure you subscribe. And if you want to stay up to date with all of my videos on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I'll see you guys in the next video review.